All right, now we're recording. They missed the wins, but it's fine. Did a daily 30-minute walk. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's get into it. Again, I am super excited about today's call. It was a call that I had recently with my coach and something that I am excited to implement and I think will be huge for us because we are talking all things self-image, all things how do we view ourselves, rewriting our stories, really rewriting the beliefs that we have. Last week, we talked a lot about different types of energy, it being masculine and feminine. And it was funny, on my call with my coach, she brought the same thing up. She's like, you have a lot of masculine energy. And again, it is not the way it has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with the way we express ourselves. It really is just the energy of being, of accepting who you are. So we're kind of going to get into that a little bit more. And we're going to talk about creating acceptance and really rewriting your story and rewriting the way that you view yourself so that we can start to move with that power, because it's the mindset switch that's going to bring all of the physical results that you truly, truly want. It starts here and then everything else starts to fall into place. So let me share my screen with you real quick. Cool. If you can see my screen, can you put a number 1 in the chat? You can see my screen. Perfect. Let's see. Okay, cool. Perfect. So today we are going to, I was going to do a February recap, but maybe we'll do that after. So today's lesson is going to be called The Mirror. All right, and we're going to do a 28-day challenge, which is perfect because February is just getting started. So I really want to make sure we set a habit that is long enough. They say habits take 21 days to really set in. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do all of February. So we're going to do 28 days of this new habit and see what it brings for you. Okay, so the Mirror 28-day challenge is creating acceptance and rewriting your story. So how many of you, we can raise our hand, we could put me in the chat, you could put the raise hand button, whichever one works for you. So how many of you have looked in the mirror and said something negative about yourself? How many of you have taken a group photo? You quickly zoom into yourself and you either ask to delete it or you say, no, we got to do it again. I don't look good. No, that cannot be out there. All right, couple hands raised. That used to be me for a million. Now it's just like, you took the picture, great, I hope it came out good. How many of you avoid looking in the mirror, or maybe the opposite? Maybe you just can't stop looking at it. You always have to make sure that you look super, super perfect. So it's either one or the other. We don't want to look at the mirror at all. I don't want to see what I look like. Or it's like, oh my God, every single moment of the day. And how many of you truly feel 100% connected with yourself during your menstrual cycle, with your inner sexy, with your body, with your calm mind, and with how you feel in this very moment? Okay, got a couple hand raised. Nice. Couple not really, like, oh shit, all right, maybe that's not me. All right, so we're going to connect with that a little bit more. We're going to make that more powerful, strengthen that. So we see the world not as it is, but as we are. But realistically, it's how we think we are. So one thing to notice is what you notice in other people. Right? You notice your insecurities or the things that you focus on in other people. So maybe if you're insecure about a certain area, maybe it's your back, maybe it's your stomach, maybe it's your legs. You start to see that girl, every single girl. You look at her legs first. You look at their midsection. You look at how successful they are in their business, in their job, in anything that you want in yourself. You start to look at it in other people. So we see the world not as it is, but as we are. And we start to see ourselves as we think we are. Because as we've spoken about many times recently, we have these thoughts in our head that are just simply not true. And we have to start relearning and rewiring those thoughts. So the average American spends 7 to 11 hours on or behind a screen. 7 to 11 hours of screen time. It kind of depends on if you work behind a computer or not, right? So that'll go higher or lower, but 7 to 11 hours, that's a lot. And why is that important? The more we connect to a screen, the less we connect to ourselves. So it's very, very important to make that time to connect to yourself so that you can achieve what you want to achieve, so that you can achieve the goals that you have in mind, so that you can start connecting with yourself and start realizing that the confidence, the power, everything that you're looking for in yourself is not just a body. I'm not taking away from any physique goals because those are 100% valid, but it's so much more than that. What you want and that power, that confidence that will come as your body is changing, but it has to come as your mind is changing. So the more we connect to a screen, the less we connect to ourselves. And why is that important? All right. When we're connecting to the screen, we compare ourselves to other people. On social media, we see their highlight reel, we see how good they look, how good they're doing. We distract ourselves from how we feel, or even things that we need to do. Do you ever like really have to get something done and you want to be productive and then you just can't stop scrolling? Like you can't stop picking up your phone because you want to distract yourself from the fact that you have to get something done, right? We experience constant hits of dopamine that increase our anxiety, right? This screen time, that scrolling, if you ever get caught in it, I want you to pay attention. Once you realize like, oh shit, I've been scrolling for a long time, I've been just looking, pay attention to your heart rate, pay attention to how you're feeling. Because a lot of times these constant dopamine hits, these constant highlight reels and travel and she has such a great life, this, that, it just causes anxiety within us, right? So it's important to recognize this in order to break out of that. So let's get into the challenge. And I'm gonna get today's call is gonna be pretty quick for this. It's gonna be 28 days, right? If you choose to participate, it's on you. If not, it's your life, so it's fine. So 28 days, a new challenge that I will be doing for you. And even as I was making this presentation, I was like thinking to myself, this might get a little uncomfortable even for me, but let's do it, right? Let's see what comes of it. So the mirror. The goal of this is connecting, accepting, and becoming abundant with your reflection to really get to know who you really are, to rewrite who you really are, and to connect with yourself every day. It's very important to connect with yourself because if not, you will get nothing done. The gym, the food, everything that you have to get done. You can't do that unless you connect to yourself. You can't give to anybody. You can't give to anything unless we connect with ourselves and we become more comfortable with ourselves. And we really, truly see ourselves as the most powerful, abundant being on the planet. So we are going to help you break the chains of your own limiting beliefs, bring you face to face with yourself. That's the point of this challenge, and bring healing, release, and celebration. No negative thoughts, no being self-conscious. That is the point of this next 28-day challenge. So let's meet yourself. For the next 28 days, this is a practice that we're all going to do. For the next 28 days, you are going to talk to yourself in the mirror for at least 2 minutes. At least 2 minutes, you are going to talk to yourself out loud. This could be in your car. If you have people in your house, you don't want to be with them. I've done therapy from my car. Like do it in your car, do it wherever you can, but at least 2 minutes, you're going to stand in front of your mirror. You are going to look at yourself and you're going to talk to yourself. You're going to connect to yourself. You're going to start to rewrite. So why 2 minutes? Because I want to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit. 1 minute's going to be really easy. And I want to give you time to actually look at yourself. Stand there, look at yourself, look at every aspect of yourself, start to literally fall in love with the person that you see and see her as being so fucking powerful. That's what every single one of you is. When you start to believe that, you start to act that way, and then things start to fall into place. So 2 minutes to push out of that comfort zone and to give you that time to sit there first and look. If it was just 1 minute, you could do it like that. I don't know if you guys have ever done gratitude or self-affirmations. When you do, let's say 3 things you're grateful for, and you do that, let's say you say it for the next month. The first day is so easy. There's so many things you could be grateful for, and it's all surface level. And then you do it the second day, you have to dig a little deeper. Third day, fourth day. The second week, you have no idea what to put and you have to dig so deep. Like write 3 things that you love about yourself every day and try not to repeat. By day 30, you're going to be like, where can I go now? And it starts to get away from, oh, it's just my hair. Now it's the way that, you do the little itty gritty, the way that I speak, the way that I care, the way that I give to others. It starts to get deeper and deeper and deeper. So that's the point of it being longer than just a minute. So for the next 28 days, you're going to talk to yourself in the mirror for at least 2 minutes. You can talk to yourself as you and or I. You could do a little bit of mix of that. When I was practicing this today, I found that I was using the word you and I was using the word I, but I was using the word you for things that I felt I was irrational about. For example, when I start to get into limiting beliefs. So I look at myself like, girl, why are you feeling like you didn't do enough today? Why are you feeling like you are not enough? I am enough. You are enough. So I talk to you, which is her, which is I. And I start to tell myself that all of these things, you are not enough. You didn't do enough. You have to be more successful. You have to be more lean. You have to be more strong. Why do you think that way? I am so powerful and I will continue to progress and I will continue to achieve all of the things. Everything that I did today, I did so much. Stop feeling like you are not enough. So whether it be you, whether it be I want you to find that within yourself. Right? Eventually, you are going to have some I's in there. If you guys have any questions, by the way, at any point, you can feel free to unmute or anything you have to say. So you might think you don't need this, but I'm going to say try it anyways. Just like we did with the journaling, the writing, different things. I want you to just try it anyways, because I just want you to see what happens. I want you to see what comes up. If you've ever tried any type of like meditation where you're kind of connecting with yourself, at first you don't really realize like what's happening. But when we focus on something and we really just focus on it, meditate to a question for 10 minutes, and you'll notice that things just start to come out that you didn't realize were even there. Right. So I want you to start to just try it. Let's see what happens and let's see how you start to feel. All right. So remember, we see the world not as it is, but as we are. But realistically, as we think we are. The way that you see yourself in the mirror, any negative thing, any negative feeling that you're feeling today, that maybe you're anxious, you're nervous, you didn't do enough at work, you have so much to do, right? These are all thoughts on how we think we are. It is not truly our reality. If you ever said negative things about yourself, it's not truly who you are. It's just who you think you are. And if we think we are otherwise, then we start to become otherwise. So we're going to do this in 3 different parts, right? You guys can write this down. When you are going in front of the mirror, right? When you're doing your 2 minutes, it could be longer than 2 minutes, but I recommend just putting a timer so that you don't cut it short. So again, we see what comes out. What are you going to say? What are you going to feel? What are you going to notice? So we're going to do this in 3 different parts. What is the first thing that you notice? You guys have a pen and paper in front of you. I want you to write this down. Think back to the last time that you looked at yourself. What are the first things that you notice? For me, it was my midsection. For so long, I was so obsessed with it. I had a picture of it just before. I forgot to put it on here. But when I used to take my progress pictures, I could literally be in a sweater and sweats. And the only thing that I would show is like, I would lift up my shirt and look at my midsection. But all of the things, so all of these things that you're noticing first, is it, I don't know, your arms, your legs, your anything. What is the first thing that you usually notice? Is it positive or is it negative? We have to start to rewrite that, because everything that you focus on is going to grow and it's going to continue to cycle. Right? So for me, my midsection, I look at it and for years and years and years, it became this cycle. If it was the only thing that ever made me feel successful, it was the only thing that ever made me feel happy. If I made progress, was only there. Did I get a little cut? Did I get a little leaner? I could have been growing muscles on my bicep, my shoulders, my back. My hair could have been, I don't have any hair anymore, but at some point I had long hair. My hair could have been glowing, my skin could have been glowing, but I was not successful enough because the one thing that I focused on continued to grow in my mind, and it was negative. So writing down, what is the first thing that you notice? And then when you're doing this mirror, I want you to start to rewrite it. So when we rewrite it, I want you to create some type of acceptance for it. Another thing that I kind of feel with this, of like getting more comfortable with my body on a day-to-day, is us women, we have our period. We have our menstrual cycle, and we aren't always feeling like super hot. Sometimes we feel super bloated. Sometimes everything is just against us. We wake up like a sack of potatoes. But when we recognize that, hey, I have my period, or I'm about to get my period, we start to take ourselves away from that blame of it being us. Oh my God, I'm bloated, I'm fat. No, girl, you have your period. And your body right now is doing beautiful work of keeping you safe. It's keeping you healthy, and it's going through a process. So everything that it's responding to right now of you feeling a little bloated, it's doing it to keep you safe. And so that's just an example. But again, that thing that you notice, create acceptance for it. Now, maybe it's some type of like not comfortable with the amount of weight loss that you want to achieve. How can we create acceptance for it? Well, I'm on this journey. I did my workout. I'm following my calories. I'm doing everything that I have or that I can do. There's nothing else I can do except accept the person that I am right now, because she's trying her best. Right, so create acceptance for it, rewrite it. So when you notice this first thing, let's create acceptance for it. And let's start to love that area of ourselves. All right, and then we're gonna rewrite that negative, same thing, by creating acceptance for it. Right, I'm doing everything that I can. Today at work, I did everything that I possibly could. And then we're gonna find the positive. What are the things that you really love about yourself? If you're looking in the mirror and maybe you've never noticed, you have the most beautiful smile. You knew that you had a beautiful smile, but why aren't you looking at it? Because we're just not conditioned, and we didn't learn that. We always are focusing on the negative, on things we have to change. But your hair looks so good today. Your hair looks so good. Why are you looking at your arms that you don't like right now because your biceps haven't come in because you're not doing your curls? Your hair looks so good. Find the positive. So my favorite thing when going into a mirror, and you can start to do this as the 28-day goes, before you even look in that mirror, right? At first, I kind of want you guys to connect and really learn, like, what is that thing that is just always in your head? And let's start rewriting it. But then as those 28-day goes, before you step into the mirror, I want you to first think about everything that you love about yourself. And maybe for me, it was my shoulders. So before I even stepped into sight in the mirror, I was told myself, I'm gonna look at my shoulders first because I love the way my shoulders look. So now I start off with positivity. The same way we start off these group calls, what's number one, or what's one win that you've had this week? We start off with positivity because what we focus on grows, and positivity will expand. So the main mission with this, with this step one, because this is just step one, what's the first thing that you focus on, is we're going to change the way we look at ourselves. And that's where it starts. Everything starts there. Because if you don't change the way that you look at yourself, you will not be happy. Some of you had made so much progress, and then you'll hit me with, oh my God, I feel so bloated. And I'm like, girl, are you kidding me? And I have to go down and scroll down to your pictures and show you the progress pictures. And then you're like, oh, Nicole, you're so right. I did make a lot of progress. Yeah, change the way that you look at yourself. You are never going to be happy. You are always going to want more progress unless you are happy with the person that you are right now. Keep pushing. You're going to get more progress, but love who you are right now. So, step two, or part two, after the first thing that you notice about yourself. Part two, you're talking to yourself in this mirror. How are you feeling in this very moment? And this is the part that is connecting with yourself. This is the part that's going to help you take action. This is the part that's going to relieve you from that anxiety that maybe you're feeling, or it's going to blossom into, damn, I feel good today. I look like a bad bitch. I look fire. I had a good day. I'm about to go with my friends. Like, I feel good, right? That will expand. But if you're not feeling so high, if you're tired, right, connect with how you're feeling in the moment. And let's start to also rewrite anything negative there. So create acceptance for it. One thing that really resonates with me, I could give an example for myself because it's easier. But one thing that resonates with me is like, I have this grind mentality that like, I always have to do more. And a lot of you are kind of the same way. You always want more because obviously you guys are all very high functioning women. So sometimes at the end of the day, we can feel like these self-sabotaging thoughts where we didn't do enough. Right. So it's important to create that acceptance. Where are these thoughts coming from? And understanding that this was something that you were taught. You were taught self-sabotaging thoughts. You weren't taught necessarily to end your day and feel like, oh, nice, I didn't most like everything on my checklist. No, you had to do everything on your checklist and 7 other things. Right. So how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling bloated? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling happy? Create acceptance for what you're feeling in the moment. And rewrite anything that is negative. And of course, finding positives. Is there anything positive that you are feeling right now with any negative? I don't care how terrible your day could be going, because sometimes we just have those days. Where can we find that positive? All right. So right now we're at step 1 and step 2 of looking in the mirror. What is the first thing that you notice when you look in the mirror? Can we rewrite that? Can we find the positive? Can we start to accept our body for who it is and understand that you're doing everything you possibly can? You literally have a whole plan. You did your whole workout. You did everything that you can today in order to progress. We're rewriting that, seeing ourselves as literally like hot, like, damn girl, you're fire. And then how are we feeling in the moment? Because I want you to start to connect with yourself. When we start to connect with ourselves, we can then start to implement. The main mission with this is, again, to connect with ourselves and to move forward in a more positive and productive light. Something that came up for me when I was talking to my coach, it was yesterday. I was like, after these calls, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. After these calls, man, you get me going. And I'm like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm strong. I'm really that girl. And then I go paralyzed. Sometimes I can't take any action. What is that? So she just started to kind of put me into that position. Who are you? Who is Nicole? What was she taught? And who is she moving forward to? She kind of mentioned like we are right now like in a phase where who we were isn't who we're becoming. And it's that transition that battles up against each other. Right? So when you connect with how you are feeling, when you start to rewrite your story, when you start to become more positive with yourself, we can move forward and ultimately be more productive. Train harder, make your meals, meal prep, whatever it is that you have to do, plan out your schedule, put your food into MyFitnessPal the day before. I've told you guys a million times. We can start to be more productive because we now put ourselves in that position of power. So when we think like, I want to achieve all of these goals, right? It's so much more than just training, nutrition to achieve those goals. It's understanding your power and putting yourself into that state where you can ultimately be productive and love all of the changes that you are making. Throughout these 6 months, I want literally every single little ounce of, oh my God, progress to be celebrated. I want you to enjoy this. It's not so much about just change for your body. It's change in all forms. Right, so let's be more productive let's be more positive so you can be more productive and so we can achieve all these goals that you really, really want. That's the goal. And then the last part, step 3, we're going to step into that power because I will tell you a million times because I am your biggest fan. You are so powerful. And everything that you want to achieve, every single goal that you have in mind, why would you ever feel like you can't achieve it? If somebody in this world is doing it, you can do it. Your affirmations. So how are we going to step into that power? I am. I know, I radiate, I attract. So you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at what you notice more. We are rewriting the negative thoughts that we say. We are looking at all the positives, your smile, your hair, right? You're telling yourself this. You're literally speaking this out loud. Wow, I have such a beautiful smile. I have such a beautiful body. My body is so bloated right now, but I'm a woman and my hormones are all over the place at the moment because I have my period and I accept it and I'm going to move forward and I'm going to love her anyways. Right now, how I'm feeling is X, Y, Z. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling happy, or I'm feeling this about work. I'm feeling this, right? We're starting to connect with ourselves. We're starting to put ourselves into that position in power. And then I am. Who are you? What do you need to hear? I am calm. I am present. I have everything in my power to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. I am intelligent. I know so much when it comes to my job. Nobody can do my job better than me. I radiate so much positivity, happiness, light, strength. I empower everybody around me. I attract money. I attract strength. I attract positive people. Every day, you're going to tell yourself this in the mirror. You're going to talk to yourself. Just see what comes up. What are the thoughts that you have had? Where did you learn them? Probably came from a little asshole that made fun of you in middle school one day. And then, yeah, me, I was told in middle school by one teacher, she said she thinks she's skinnier than she is. Girl, I'm in 7th grade. That traumatized me for like years. I had to unlearn that forever. So now we rewrite it. Now I'm not skinny, I'm a strong bitch. So main mission with this, believe who you really are. Powerful, strong, sexy, lean, intelligent. Step into the power that you have and create abundance and happiness for your life. You cannot take action on anything else. You cannot go to the gym and focus on your lifts and focus on your strength if you are stressed with the anxiety that everything else in the world is throwing at you. We have to create that space. We have to create that mental clarity. We have to create that power in order to take action. This lifestyle that you guys want of meal prepping. I want to be that girl that eats healthy and meal preps. I want to be that girl that doesn't really like fried food. You have to relearn the shit out of all of that. All right, so let's continue to focus on those things. So there is 3 steps. We are doing this for 28 days. I was thinking even as a sense of accountability, you don't have to send this in the chat. You could send it to me. Every Friday, you could record a piece of it. You could record the whole thing and just send it to me. If you want me to see it, I don't judge you. You know, I would never. But if you want that to be a sense of accountability, right, I'm open to being there for you in that experience. So every Friday, want to put your video up, you want to put your camera, you want to send it over, go ahead. But I do want you, and I can even send, I don't know if it would be helpful for you guys. I can send like a little calendar if you have a calendar, but we need to check this off. 28 days, 2 minutes. Looking at yourself, creating abundance, rewriting your story, checking in with how you're feeling. You give to so many people. How are you feeling? And telling yourself your affirmations that you need to learn. Because I am calm, I am present. Even though every day I feel like I'm an anxious little ball running around that can't seem to I think I have ADHD sometimes, but every day I am calm and I am present, girl, until you believe it and it will come true. Will it be added to the checklist in the app? Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that. Yes, that is actually so, I don't know how I didn't think of that. Thank you. Let me write that down. So I can add that. Sorry. 28 day, I'll call it the mirror. 2 minutes. I'm asking you for 2 minutes for you to talk to yourself. Because you talk to everybody all day. I know you can give me 2 minutes to connect with yourself. So how are we feeling? Put in the chat. What are our thoughts? Anything resonate with you? Feeling good? We're feeling a little nervous. I actually, when I was doing some research on this, I came across this video of one guy, literally like 11 minutes. It's him on YouTube, just talking to himself. He's like, this is weird. I am crazy right now. He was just going and going and going. I was just listening to like what would come up for him. And it was truly fascinating. Like, and I've honestly never done this before. So I am very excited to just try it and see what comes up for me. Fun fact, I used to do video diaries for myself. That's so cool. I really like that. Yes, Nat, do you have a question?
Just a comment. I love that you're doing this for us because, you know, February is like the month of love, and there's always, you know, us talking about love and when it comes to relationships, but it's really just also that self-love. And you reminded me, as I'm always preaching to my students, like I always check in to see how they're doing 1 through 10. And when they tell me they're feeling like a 4, I'm like, all right, like I can't expect them to be their best in class today, or I can't expect them to be their best in whatever, because they're not feeling well mentally. And I made that connection when you said you can't tackle all these other goals that you want to do within your overall wellness if mentally you're exhausted, if mentally, you know, you're not there. So it resonated with me because that's really where I've been past couple months, and I've shared that with you, but publicly with everyone else. Like burnout is real when I'm not mentally there. I used to have it a routine, like it was a lifestyle to do all these things. So I just appreciate that reminder, because sometimes you're in the midst of it all that you just forget to give yourself that grace. So just thank you for that.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for expanding on all of that. I even feel myself like we just go, we just do. Like it's very rare that we connect with ourselves. And if you guys ever got into this with your friends, with your family, and you kind of asked or like see what other people like are they even connecting with yourself? It's a rare thing. But I think that can help us again feel more productive, even on days where maybe you don't feel like your best. You wake up and you're talking to yourself, you're like, I'm not feeling so good. I'm tired. I'm this, I'm that. How can we rewrite that to just make the day our best? Like somebody cuts you off on the highway and you give them all of your peace. And now you're angry for like 10 minutes. What? For what? Rewrite it. I'm glad he didn't hit me. And it's just really like a mental state. Looks like you'll be bringing it back. Like in college, I used to talk to myself in the third person in the mirror. Yeah. So whether this be you or whether this be I just literally just talk to yourself. And one thing that I forgot to mention, when you're talking to yourself, at some point, I want you to look at yourself and talk to yourself like you are your best friend. Because when you talk to your friends, you have so much compassion. You admire everything about them. Wow, you made so much progress. That outfit looks so good on you. Your hair looks so good. You are glowing. You tell them all these things, but you have to say it to yourself. And if you don't, maybe you don't have people saying that to you, and obviously that's nice too, we can still say that to ourselves. All right, so talk to yourself as if you were your best friend. What are the things that you need to learn? Because realistically, you need to become your best friend. You need to become your biggest fan. I say this so many times, but you are all so fucking powerful. And when you feel that, you everything else just starts to make sense. And we just start to become more productive. Or we give ourselves the chance to take a nap because we don't feel so good. And then tomorrow we're going to be productive. Do we have any other questions? Does anybody else want to share anything? How are we feeling?
I want to share something. Well, you were talking about like the average person stares at a screen for 7 to 11 hours. I think what I'm going to try to do is go on a social media cleanse for the month of February, because I feel like always comparing ourselves to social media and, oh, she looks skinnier or she looks really good. Why don't I look like that? So maybe removing that while doing the mirror challenge may help, because you're not constantly comparing yourself. And I think I just want to get more sleep instead of scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone wanted to do that as well. Like, it's 28 days. We're not going to die if we don't go on Instagram. But just wanted to share that.
I love that. That's big too. If I actually thought of that earlier today, I was like, I should have them do a challenge where they go through all of their followers and just unfollow so many people. unfollow like fitness influencers that you don't like. That was my actually just really random on topic, but my first like getting out of diet culture, I used to follow just accounts that would show me their abs, their ass, their muscles. Like that's it. They gave me no, like they didn't teach me anything. It was just abs and ass, and I wanted to look like them, and they made me feel like shit. So if there's anybody that you're following that doesn't make you feel good, if it's an old friend, if it's just somebody that kind of tweaks you the wrong way, the way that they speak, unfollow them. Look on your profiles and be like 100 less followers on all of you. I'm like, yes.
I just wanted to note that tomorrow is also Woman Crush Wednesday. And this is when we're starting our, the challenge. So it's dope because it's for us. And I don't know. It's funny to do it at first, but I used to do it myself, just as Linda mentioned. But I would voice record myself while talking to myself in the mirror. So that in the future I could just hear my voice as opposed to focusing on what I look like.
Okay.
But either way, it's uncomfortable at first, but once you get used to it, I mean, we all do our hair or brush our teeth or like eventually you gotta cross the mirror. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward. I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, the mirror thing, I want you to just get more comfortable with like who you are and look at yourself like you are just this goddess. You looking in the mirror like, I mean, it's not always gonna be that way. Sometimes you're gonna be like, damn, I kind of look like shit right now, but it's all right. Just because I only slept 4 hours, it makes sense. But I want you to look in the mirror like, damn, you are so beautiful. When was the last time you told yourself that you are beautiful? That is a disrespect. So 28 days, I'm adding it to your profile. I'm gonna actually put it in the group because I'm gonna forget exactly who was on here. So I'm gonna put it on the group. Just say like me. I'm gonna say who wants the 28-day challenge added to their profile. So this way I can see it there. And then I'll add it to you so you can put a checklist. I'm personally a write it down kind of girl. So I will also have my calendar and I'm gonna just cross it off each day I did it. I've never done this before, so I'll be sharing my experience and what kind of resonates with me. And if I have any tips or if something resonates for you and you think like, oh, this might help somebody, or oh, I didn't think this would be something that I thought of, put it in the chat. Like we're all here to grow, we're all here to learn, and we're all here to just expand and be more abundant. So yeah, let's kind of start this journey together. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous to talk to myself, but let's see what happens. And before I let you go, let's put in the chat. Okay, let's put in the chat let's go one positive thing that your main focus for February. Main focus for February. One positive main focus for February. Let me put what I should. So Linda, I want you to put just like an affirmation, your main focus for February. Trying to think of how I should word mine. Consistency, saying body positive things when I look in the mirror. Love that. I'm focusing on practicing grace on myself and finding my new rhythm again. Love that. My main focus for February, I would say, is stepping more. I've been kind of dealing with a little bit of imposter syndrome. So stepping into my mission. Stepping into my mission, and I don't even know how to say it, like figuring out who I stand for and just attacking that, I would say. Focus more accepting all of me and who I am in the present moment, connecting to and believing that I'm a sexy bitch, yes. Focusing on myself too and saying no to things that are not good for me. Love that. Amazing. So all of February, we are all connecting with ourselves. We are 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And I want you to follow the 2-day rule. If you ever miss a habit, you can't miss a habit 2 days in a row. Cool. So I will add it to your profile. I appreciate you all being here. I'm excited for this challenge. I don't know what it's going to bring for you. I don't know what it's going to bring for me, but I'm feeling good about it. So start looking at yourself as you are the most beautiful goddess that you have ever laid your eyes on. That's what you are. All right. I will see you all next week. Don't forget to do your check-in tomorrow, and we will talk at the end of the week. Have a beautiful week.
Wait, Nicole, real quick. The check-in, right? So I keep seeing like 3 out of 5 or 1 out of like.
That is no, that is the amount of workouts that you've done. So like, oh, I've gotten, honestly, I've got, somebody else said that to me the other day. So I need to put it on like one of the documents because it just started becoming, yeah, it became a thing and I just let it. But basically like I completed 1 of 5 workouts. So it's like consistency, 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5. And then when you finish them all, you do 5 of 5.
Got you. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I will talk to you all soon. Love you guys.
Have a good night. Love you too. Bye.
Good night. Bye.